Hello, team over at Luxury Remodels. My name is Sean Everett. I am the website analysis expert at Zucker Marketing in San Antonio. Somebody there talked to Eric, and he sent your website over to me for analysis, and that is what this video is. That's what you're watching now. And in the course of this video, I am going to give you some statistics and some information about how you are losing ground to these folks over at Phoenix Home Remodeling. Now, I'm going to give you the actual numbers that shows you where you are losing ground. I'm going to give you some tips so that you can implement those right away if you so desire. And let's get started. Now, first off, you have a great site. There are some things that I am curious about because, for instance, for me, right here, I cannot read that. And it's because of how the light in the photo behind it just kind of, well, obscures the lettering. There's one even more so. Here we go. This one. Now, I know it says Kitchling Remodeling because my brain is filling in the rest of it. But even if I change the size of the photos and go to larger or smaller ones, see, here's another one where it's very difficult to read the writing. Not that it matters that much. Your site is beautiful. I have no issue with how beautiful your site is or its design. There are just some words that are difficult to read. So what? What's more important is that you have a beautiful website that you clearly spent some money on. And it's a couple years out of date. So that actually may make the difference here. And I'm going to show you why. In the last couple of years, there have been some pretty great advances in something that we call SEO. And when your website was created or updated 2 years ago, those didn't exist in the same way that they do now. And so your web designer did a great job. They're like the body shop. We are like the mechanics. They make it look pretty. We make it work. Now, the first thing I'm going to do after I look at your site is use a tool that I have, a tool that I subscribe to, and it is called Ahrefs. It gives me the metrics of your site, shows me how it's been doing over the last couple of months. Now, the next thing I do after that is a regular old Google search, in this case for Phoenix, Arizona. Now, I could have done Scottsdale, where you actually rank pretty well, but you say in your website, if I'm not mistaken right here, that the area is served all the way up from Cave Creek, which is about, 27 miles north? It's a pretty wide circle around Phoenix, 27 miles around Phoenix. And if you're truly interested in getting all of that business, then I'm going to do this Google search for Phoenix, Arizona, if you don't mind. Now, I also want to let you know that the reason that I do this is because Google controls 96% of the traffic on the internet. 96% is controlled by Google. Think about it. If you did 96% of the homes in your service area, somebody would come knocking and say, what is going on here? But Google got in early and they went big, and now they own a bunch of it. And I don't know that they own it, but they certainly control it by, when's the last time you went to a site that you'd never been to before and you didn't get there on some level through Google? Now, most people do not understand how Google works. And if you don't know how something works, then you can't make use of it. Now, I'm going to tell you how Google works, and I'm going to show you exactly by utilizing this search results page for Phoenix, Arizona remodeling. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you is that Google has an algorithm that determines the placement of everything. And the way that it determines that is it is looking for 3 specific things from websites. So it looks at the website, sees what's in it, and then determines the placement. Now, the first thing it's looking for is this. This area here is what we call the map pack, as it's, right there is a map right next to it. And these folks did something that the folks down here did not do, and that was fill out a Google business profile. Now, I think that you have done that because I think I saw you in the map pack over on the Scottsdale version of the Google search. But it's certainly something that you could make less specific to Scottsdale, and it would open you up to being in the map pack for Phoenix. And this area here is different than this area down here because you can be in both. Google treats these differently. This is its own listing, and so is this down here, which is what we call the organics. Now, you need to have your Google business profile filled out well. You can probably attempt it by yourself, but it would probably be best done by an experienced person with some expertise, because that, the goal is to get up here near the top in all of the areas that in all of the communities that you serve. Now, below that is what we call the organics, and they're organic in the sense that you don't have to do anything other than have a website in order to get on here. But where you are on here is the big deal. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about next. Google loves content. This is part 2 of what the algorithm is looking for. Now, I'm going to take your website and I'm going to copy and paste it into this word counter. And 1190, that's how many words you have. And the reason I'm doing that is because Google doesn't have any way of knowing if you're capable of teaching their search customers about the search term that they used without counting the words. The more words, the better. The inverse is if somebody Google sent you to a website where the person only had remodeling is good on it, you'd say, what are these 3 words doing even in a Google search? Google thinks the opposite is true, that the more words, the better. Now, on the plus side, neither of you have reached the threshold for words that Google prefers, and that is 1,500. They are a little bit closer at 1,345, but you have about another 400 words to go. And you want to make sure that you beat all of your competitors in all of the areas that you serve. So I would suggest going up to 2,000 words if you can. It is not hard. Your site lends itself to being very informative in a very beautiful sort of way. You have a great way of putting words into little boxes that people can easily digest. So this is an easy thing for you guys. Now, the next thing I want to tell you is that all words are not equal at Google. And what we're talking about are keywords. Keywords are words that come from your industry. They come from your website and the website of your competitors in your area and probably nationwide. And they have to do with, it's words that Google expects you to have there. They differentiate you from a dairy farm in Wisconsin. And they also, the more words you have that are industry specific, the better that Google thinks you are at your industry. Now, these keywords also come from the areas that you serve, and they come from Google searches. Now, you have 470, and your competitor has 11,700. So I don't have to probably tell you who wins this little foot race. But here's the deal. I'm going to show you what theirs are. And if they're good enough for them, they're certainly good enough for you. Phoenix Home Remodeling, best toilet for small bathrooms, average guest bathroom size, 1-piece versus 2-piece toilet. What else? Kitchen backsplash ideas for last year. Should kitchen faucet match cabinet hardware? As you can see, these are all like little phrases that come from your industry. Kitchen island height. How long for grout to dry? Now, those are all things like I actually know about these things because I redid my kitchen, but how often do I use this sentence? How long for grout to dry? I did it once when I had my kitchen redone. There are another 272 pages of these, and they are easy to include in your site. Now, the next thing I need to tell you about are backlinks. Backlinks is where your site, your URL, appears on a different site, and that could be like a Yelp, or it could be yellowpages.com, something like that. If you are on those and you have your URL listed, there will be a link back to your site. That's a backlink. Now, the referring domains is what we really find the most important part of this little area here. You are on 211 different sites. Now, here's what your competitor is on, 656. So a little more than 3 times more what you have. And here are the sites that they are on. Sites.google.com, meaning that they have a portion of their site hosted by Google. Issuu, which is, I believe, that online magazine company where you can publish like a catalog of your stuff. MapQuest, Proven Expert, Expertise.com. Now, the reason that I'm sort of lingering here is that these all have ratings of 90s. Now, this is a great list for them. They have a bunch in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, which is exactly where you want the majority of your links to be. This is the domain rating. This is a scale of 0 to 100, and this shows the strength of a domain's backlink profile. Now, your domain rating is 11, which is great for a company of your size. And for Google, the domain rating is 94 because it has 1,634 pages plus that have a link back to it. And MapQuest has 122,000. And About.me has 204,000. So you can see it's about being on sites that are very well visited. And why is that? Because Google doesn't have time to vet your site. The only thing that they have that tells them that your site is worthwhile going to is if other people recommend going there. And the way that they recommend it is by having a link back to your site. Now, what this all comes down to is this. Your traffic last month was 449. That's up 86 from the month before, so that's a nice trend. 449 is not bad when you think about it. It is approximately 14 visitors a day. That's pretty good, right? Here's what your competitor had. 4,600. Now, that is a tremendous number of visitors. Now, I don't know how many visitors, what the ratio is of visitors to become customers, paying customers, but I can tell you this, that it is much greater at 10 times this than this is. And this isn't bad. I mean, you know, let's say it's 1%, then you get 4 paying customers a month. I don't know. From the internet. It could be much less than that. It could be 0.25%, or I just don't know. But 0.25% of this is much better than 0.25% of that. And this is all due to the fact that they are #1 in the organic search results area here on a Google search page. Now, these 3 things are the things that the Google algorithm is looking for. I am going to summarize again. This is the Google Business Profile. Fill that out. 2, more and better keywords, and 3, more and better backlinks. Now, these are all things that you can put into practice right away. You can implement these today if you want. But I can also let you know that we are available to help you do that because we have the experience, we have the expertise, and we like doing it. So Eric is going to reach back out to whoever he talked to before and get your feedback on this video. And thank you for sticking with me. It's been great talking to you. Have a great rest of your day.